Okay. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Got to go past the ad. And there I am, live. Let's see. Is my audio okay? There I am. Okay. Sounds like it is. Audio okay? There I am. Perfect. Okay, so let me get rid of this and increase my bandwidth somewhat. And let's get the noise going. I'll do this first. There we go. liked that one. That was fun. Oh, yes, indeed. And good evening to all brothers, sisters, siblings, boys, girls, and whatever have you on the menu. So, good to see you all. And it is Saturday. It is 10 o'clock. I am Bill, as it says right over here. And you're watching Bill's Box of Sound. Okay. And, oh, hello, Michael P. Dawson. Yes, you've brought up something I'm going to talk about a little later on tonight. And it's very positive. I like it. I like it. I like it. But before we do so, yeah, it is Saturday night. And this is where we get together to talk about music and records and all sorts of other crazy stuff. Let me move this here so we can get the good shot, the money shot of the Diet Coke going into the little cup of ice. Ah, yes. Okay. We love it. Oh, the noises. Lovely noises. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, my precious. Hello, Mr. Bouchard. Hey, Nate, what's up? Good to see you. Here's to you, every single one of you. All right. Ooh. Okay. Several fun things to talk about tonight. And yes, Michael, you did see Vinyl Richie talking about meh. And okay, you usually I have a copy within reach. That's it. Here we go. I mean, there's one over there, but there's also one right here. Yes, yes, yes. If you don't have one already, why is one of these not in your home? I know. I know a lot of you that are watching already got a copy. That's cool. But if you're new here, welcome. We get together here every Saturday night, just about at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Uh, let's see, 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central, and much later in other parts of the world that watch us, listen to us. Every once in a while, I go on at other parts of the day so that people in other countries can communicate, and that's cool. Very nice. But we talk about music and stuff that's a little bit to the left. And yeah, I really enjoyed Vinyl Richie's review of the Spudlock album. That's this thing right here. And um, hmm, and I've I've already gotten a few orders in just based on his testimonial of the album, which makes me just very happy. And so that's very cool. Ooh, almost spilled my water. Let's move that over here. Let's see. We got the Mr. Jones in me. Thoughts on the Magnolia Electric Company? Magnolia Electric Company. Let's see. Is that an artist? Is that a band? Is that a company that makes equipment? I've heard of places called Magnolia. Oh, album by Jason Molina and Songs, Ohio. You know what? I am not familiar with that. I may have to check that out. One of your favorite albums of the last 25 years. Huh, very cool. Well, I'm going to have to make a note to check that out. Maybe I'll stream it and something. And you say that if I do check it out, I will not regret it. Okay, cool. Very nice. I'm open minded. And I will check out the Magnolia Electric Company by Jason Molina. Okay, and Songs, Ohio. Sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, so what have I been doing this week? Well, a couple of years ago, I asked for and received as a Christmas present from one of my stepdaughters, boom, this book right here, Beastie Boys book, written by Michael Diamond and Adam Horowitz, two of the three Beastie Boys. This is a thick sucker. And this is a multimedia book. I mean, it's got pictures, it's got drawings, it's got diagrams, it's got pictures of drawings, uh, all sorts of things. It's got a little teeny cookbook in there. It's got a graphic novel area where it's like a cartoon book. And if you are into the Beastie Boys at all, uh, this book will be an endless fountain of fun for you. However, sadly, I have a very bad history of getting books that I'm interested in and not reading them. This was one of them. But I've kept it. I've kept it dear because I love the Beastie Boys. And also, one of the few online streaming things that I do subscribe to is Amazon Prime. And they made an audiobook of the Beastie Boys book back when it came out. And it's not just your normal audio book. I mean, it's read by Mike D and King Ad Rock, but it also is a full audio production. It's unabridged. It's a 12-hour reading of the book, the audiobook is. And it has a number of guest readers on there, people appearing on this audiobook. And I'll read some of these names. So in addition to Adam Horowitz and Michael Diamond, you've got people such as guest readers, Steve Buscemi, Ada Calhoun, Bobby Cannavale, Exene Cervenka, Roy Choi, Jarvis Crocker, Elvis Costello, Chuck D, Snoop Dogg, Will Ferrell, Kim Gordon, Josh Hamilton, LL Cool J, Spike Jonze, the video director, Pat Kiernan, Talib Kweli, Dave Maklovich, Rachel Maddow, Tim Meadows, Bette Midler, Mixmaster Mike, Nas, Yoshimi O, Rosie Perez, Amy Poehler, Kelly Reichardt, John C. Reilly, Ian Rogers, Maya Rudolph, Reverend Run, Kate Schellenbach, MC Search, Jon Stewart, Ben Stiller, Wanda Sykes, Jeff Tweedy. I mean, an all-star cast. And recently, Amazon Music announced that Audible, which is owned by Amazon, by the way, has a new benefit for Amazon Music subscribers. You can listen to one audiobook a month from their selection, no extra charge, on the Amazon Music app. So I saw that and I was poking around on my phone on the app, and I saw that this book, Beastie Boys book, is available as an audiobook for free. And I had heard, stop falling down, damn it, come on. I had known about this audiobook with all of these guest readers. And I thought, you know what? I'd like to check that out. Because I've heard about the production that is this thing. Started listening to it, and man, it's good. And it very closely follows the book so far. And I listen to about an hour a day of it. I've only done 2 days so far. And when I get back home, I pull this book out and I start going through uh, the parts of the book and the chapters that I have just listened to, going through it over again and checking everything out. I mean, they talk about their mixtapes, and they got and in here they've got pictures of their mixtapes, and how they made covers of them, places in New York City that they hung out at. And after 2 days, I am only that far into the book, but this is making me enjoy this book in all sorts of different ways. So, very highly recommended if you are into the Beasties. Okay. Another topic that we have been discussing on this show lately is Primus and the fact that their drummer, Tim Alexander, has left the band for the third time, but this time for good. He's saying that because of health reasons and because of his family, he is leaving the band and he's getting out of the music business, and I wish him the best. Primus has spoken that they are going to be playing all the gigs that they have already lined up that they're planning to play with Tim, but they are going to be using guest drummers that have played for Les Claypool's Fearless Flying Frog Brigade, as well as the Holy Mackerel. And Tool drummer Danny Carey has stepped up to help out on a few of those gigs. But just this past week or so, Primus put out some stuff online and on primusville.com that says we are currently taking submissions from all points in the universe for the position of Primus drummer slash percussionist, seeking a well-mannered, affable individual with original sensibility and aesthetic, possessing a desire to open new doors in the creative world. Flashy chops are wonderful, but groove, pocket, and the ability to listen, react, and contribute to the musical conversation is a must. Submit your resume and a recent video performance to drumsearch@primusville.com. That's exciting. Now, if I was a much younger drummer, I would definitely be jumping in that pool. But because of my life and also the fact that I ain't no spring chicken, I will not be throwing my hat into the ring. So all you other drummers out there with super chops, you know what to do. Get on it and do it. Get involved. Yes, indeed. Okay. Oh, what other things are happening? Oh, yes, it is Record Store Day Black Friday, and I will be participating this week. The day after Thanksgiving, this coming Friday, there's going to be special releases being offered from major and independent record companies, and celebrating this at independent music stores. And it's not as great a list as usual, but I'm still going to participate because there's still a few things in here that I can't really live without that easily. There's there's a Ramones Greatest Hits that looks interesting, but I've got most everything I want by the Ramones. The one thing I want the most of all is the Carl Stalling Project, a 2-record set, music from Warner Brothers cartoons, classic Warner Brothers cartoons. And Carl Stalling was in charge of a lot of the music for the classic Warner Brothers cartoons of the 40s, 50s, 60s. And but not into the 70s. In the 70s, some other people got involved in those. And this album, which is on, I believe, I think it's like red and green vinyl, or no, I'm sorry, red and blue vinyl. This album has been available on CD for many years, and it's great stuff. A lot of the old Raymond Scott melodies that were licensed for Warner Brothers cartoons will be featured on this, and it's great recordings, original recordings, and I can't wait to hear it on vinyl. Oh, what else? There is a 2-record Sun Ra album, Lights on a Satellite Live at the Left Bank. Very interested in that. I'm possibly interested in the U2 re-release, reassemblage of how to dismantle an atom bomb. I believe that was the name of the album. It's one of the few U2 albums I don't have on vinyl, but I guess it's a remaster of that album with a few extra tracks. A little gray area on that. What other things are very, very cool that I want to pick up? Very possibly Big Brother and the Holding Company live at the Grandee Ballroom in Detroit. That looks like a lot of fun. And let's see. That's pretty much everything that I really, really want. There's an interesting reissue of T-Rex's album Tanks that I might be picking up. But one of the things that makes me excited about this coming record store day is the record store that I'm going to be going to. Now, usually, I'm based in the west side of Cleveland, Ohio. And for years, on record store day and on Black Friday, I always go out to Mentor, Ohio, and I go to a store called the Record Den because they're a big record store. They get a lot of record store day merchandise, and they're very reliable for having a good selection. The only thing I don't like about it is I have to get up monstrously early. Like, I have to get up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to wake myself up and then jump in the car and go there and wait in line. And currently, the weather report for that day, let's take a look here. Just go on my good old weather app for Cleveland. It's currently 43 degrees. But on a Friday, there's a 50% chance of snow currently. A high of 37 degrees Fahrenheit and low of 30. That's going to be freaking cold. And they don't open up their doors until about 8 or 9. So if I get there at 6 a.m., and you know what? I know that if I get there at 6 a.m., there's already going to be a bunch of people there. People I know. People that I like hanging out with. But I got to take my place in line and stay at my place in line and wait forever for them to open their doors. Now, the albums that I want to get for Record Store Day probably are not high priority albums for a lot of people. So I feel pretty safe that most any place that does have it available, I'm going to be able to pick it up. So I'm going to try something different. There is a record store that I really enjoy that has been in Bedford, Ohio. It's called The Vinyl Groove. And it's a great store, but they were cramped into a little space. They have moved to the west side of Cleveland, which is only like about a 15-20 minute drive for me, maybe even less under good conditions. And they have opened up a much larger store, and they are planning to be open on Record Store Day with those titles. Not only that, they don't open till 10 a.m. So I don't have to get up monstrously early, just respectfully early. So we'll do that. So that's what I'm checking out. So hey, if there's something that you're interested in for Record Store Day and you want to broadcast it in the chat room, go ahead. We got Charlie Anderson in the chat room saying, let's see, getting spendy this month. Doors box set, Beatle American Mono, and I'm looking at the War box for Record Store Day. Okay, very cool. The Beatles boxed set is, yeah, super spendy. And when you buy the boxed set, which is going to be very, very limited quantities, by the way, at least according to Michael Esposito of the In Groove in Phoenix, Arizona, he says that there's only going to be a small number of those things made. And the difference between buying the individual records as opposed to buying the separate records is about $130 if you buy the box. The box will get you an album that's exclusive to that box, which is The Beatles Story, which is an American-made 2-record set audio documentary, which has some interviews with members of the Beatles, but it's mostly American journalists reading a script about the Beatles and what it's like a podcast about the Beatles, only 50 years before they actually had podcasts, or 40 or some. And for most people, it's not going to be worth spending that extra $100 just to get that particular album and the box that holds everything together. They are releasing the other records in there separately. I want to get a hold of the Target exclusive Meet the Beatles just to see what it sounds like. And the only other one that I don't have in my collection is the one that's called the Early Beatles, which has mostly the songs that were originally on the VJ album called Introducing the Beatles. Those songs were exclusive to the VJ label for a while. And the reason that those turned up on VJ is because for a while, when the Beatles first came out, Capitol Records didn't want them. And then finally, they said, okay, we'll put them out. And 3 or 4 different labels in the United States had already licensed Beatles songs on different labels. And when they put out I Want to Hold Your Hand, it was kind of like the icing on the top, the cherry on the top. And the Beatles were like in the top 10, holding 4 or 5 spots. That was crazy. But as has been publicized widely, Dave Dexter made a lot of changes to the master tapes of the Beatles to Americanize them and put out the albums that us people who are old enough to remember the Beatles when they came out in the 60s with these. And all these albums were released in 1964. These are the versions that they put out originally. When they finally got around to releasing the UK versions in the US, the sound was different. And it sounded much better. But there are those that want those different versions. No problem. You never know, they may put out a stereo version as well. They will be putting out Beatle albums in different configurations forever. You can guarantee that. So don't think that you're ever done buying Beatles records. Only when you say you're done will you be done. And then as soon as you say, okay, that's it for me, boom, Capitol Records or Apple in the UK will come out with something else. It's crazy. But I've heard good things and bad things. There's a lot of reviews. I'm not going to buy the box set. Check that out. And also, the War box very interesting. I believe that's cut by Kevin Gray. That's going to be cool. It's going to be the second War albums. I like the earlier War albums myself, and I absolutely love the Kevin Gray War Greatest Hits release that came out. And also the Doors box set. I think I've said on this live stream before in previous weeks that there are so many re-releases of the Doors that I really think that this new Rhino Hi-Fi boxed set is overkill. Okay, I've already got my Acoustic Sounds double 45 versions of the first Doors album and LA Woman, and they sound ultimate. You can't best those, and I love them. I've also got regular originals of all the Doors albums. I understand Kevin Gray just gives the masterings of these albums a different take, but I've had it up to here with those Doors albums. I'm not going to buy any more. I mean, the only way that I would buy anymore would be if I become exceedingly rich, and I am not. Okay. Ooh, good. We got some more stuff here. Flickering Waves. Good to see you in the chat room. You say Carl Stalling is definitely on my list. Yes. Hoping to pick up the Morphine B-Sides LP as well. Looking to round it out with the new Wilco EP and hopefully some other recent releases. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, kind of interested more. I missed the boat on Morphine a long time ago, and I know that people loved Sandman and his bass playing and singing. And as a matter of fact, I believe that Les Claypool to this day uses his harmonica mic as a vocal mic on some songs. Very cool. So I'll be checking that out. Let's see here. Mike said the same thing about the Colored Stones mono box. Still available at Amazon for $3. Yikes. Let's see, who else we got? Woody B. Woody B say, will they release the USA albums on colored vinyl like the Beatles, Meet the Beatles on blue vinyl? They haven't said that they're going to yet. They are going to be releasing them definitely on black vinyl, but so far, Target has an exclusive on Meet the Beatles on the opaque blue vinyl. So I'm going to pick that up. And when the early Beatles comes out in a separate one, I'm going to pick that up because that's the only one that I don't have. Even though I've got all the British albums. Like I said, never say you're finished with the Beatles because just when you think you are, they'll come out with more stuff. That's crazy. What else we got going on? Oh, They Might Be Giants on their online store. They are having a sale on some of their vinyl stuff as well as t-shirts. There is a new They Might Be Giants vinyl release. It's a compilation called Idlewild, which I've got almost all those songs on digital download, but I've got a whole big buttload of They Might Be Giants records already, and I have to make sure that my collection's complete. Yes, indeed. And oh yeah, I saw that this happened today. Rest in peace, Alice Brock. And if you say who is Alice Brock, you're not alone. Alice Brock is the person, and hold on a second. I'll have to get something to visually append to this. It's just a moment here. Gotta go over here. I know I got it. Let's see. Gun. Now come on. I know I got it. I know I got it. I've had it for years. Where is it? Oh no, come on. All right, something has happened to this, and I don't know where it went to. Holy crap, I can't find it. All right, I thought that I had a copy of the album Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie. And Arlo Guthrie, Alice Brock is the Alice of the song Alice's Restaurant. And it's kind of sad that it happened just before Thanksgiving because the Alice's Restaurant Massacre is about it's a sidelong piece of music. It's got the song Alice's Restaurant, but it's got the wonderful monologues of Arlo Guthrie talking about the story of Alice's Restaurant and the draft and everything else. And yes, you can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant, excepting Alice, and you will never be able to get Alice again. You may be able to get her, but you can't get Alice. But yeah, that's sad. She passed away. She was in her 80s. She was living in a nursing home. So give it up for Alice. And good evening, Mowgli. Mr. Dehekar. Good to see you. All right. Just walk right in. It's around the back. About a half a mile from the railroad track. Now I'm going to be searching for that album. I know I've got a copy. I know I didn't sell it. I know I didn't give it away. Wait a sec. You know what I'm going to do? If it's in my database, I know that it's somewhere in this house. Let's see. I'm taking a quick look here just to make sure. That's strange. It's not in my alphabetical, so I'm gonna have to find this. I know I have a copy of this because I've listened to it on my stereo. Huh. All right. If not, I'll have to look for a second copy. There's always a possibility that something happened to that copy as well, like got water damaged or something like that. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Okay. Ooh, here's something else that happened this week. The 50th anniversary of this album here, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. And if you haven't already seen it, once you're done with this live cast right here, check out Abigail DeVoe's Vinyl Monday. It just came out this past Monday, the 50th anniversary of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. She does a 40-minute review of it and her take on it and a lot of the history that involves the making and the release of that. And yeah, that's good. Metal theologian in the house. Good to see you, sir. And speaking of Genesis Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, if you've got a copy of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, you would be smart to have the original version, okay? Either on record or the first issue on CD. Be careful if you don't have Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, and you say, "Ooh, I'm going to go out and get it." Well, be careful because in 2007 they put out this deluxe version. Well, this is part of a boxed set, but this also has a DVD on it, which has the 5.1 mix. But in 2007, this, as well as a lot of other Genesis albums, were remixed by Genesis's sound man, Nick Davis. And he took a lot of liberties. And if you have a fondness for the original Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, you'll listen to this and you'll go, "What the hell was he thinking?" Now, according to what you hear around the campfire, Tony Banks was very happy with Nick Davis's remixes of the Genesis material. I personally am not. For example, on the song The Knife on the album Trespass, there's this one part where Peter Gabriel thinks, "Some of you are going to die. Martyrs, of course, for the freedom that I shall provide." But he doesn't sing it straight. It goes through some electronic gimmickry. And as far as I can tell, it's going through a ring modulator. Now, those of you with an electronic music education know what a ring modulator is. What it does is it takes an audio signal and takes a second signal, which is a sound wave of some sort or other things, and takes that original signal and modulates it in a different way and produces a third frequency that really, really messes it up. And it's a unique sound. So when Nick Davis went and remixed the album Trespass and he did the song The Knife, and he came to that part, he just took that vocal from Peter Gabriel and he distorted it a bit. He didn't really duplicate the effect. And it sounds terrible. But there is going to be a 50th anniversary Lamb Lies Down on Broadway box coming out. And they are taking pre-orders for it now. It's coming out sometime in 2025. And it's very tempting. I may have to pick it up. I'll read this here. In Genesis's incredible body of work, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway is a landmark record, one of the most influential progressive rock albums of all time. Originally released in November '74, The Lamb is celebrating its 50th anniversary with a 5 LP or 4 CD boxed set plus a Blu-ray in the Super Deluxe edition. This definitive compendium was created with input from all band members involved in the record and follows the arc of the album's creation and tour, giving fans a deep dive into the music and visual elements. So, sounds interesting. If you're a Genesis collector, I know your ears are standing up on end right now. If you don't already know about this. The 5 LP plus Blu-ray box includes the original album remastered by Miles Showell at Abbey Road Studios from the original 1974 analog tapes. So hope is not lost. If you can't find it original, the original version is going to be in that box set. Now, the complete Live from the Shrine Auditorium, Los Angeles, California show from January '75 is going to be included in this boxed set. As far as I knew, there was no complete recording of any of the live shows for the Lamb. Of course, I'd love to see some video of it. That would be awesome. But it also includes 2 previously unreleased encore tracks. Plus, there is a Lamb Dolby Atmos mix overseen by Peter Gabriel and Tony Banks at Peter Gabriel's Real World Studios. And there's a download card featuring 3 never-before-released demos from the Headley Grange sessions. Plus, on the Blu-ray, there's going to be 96K 24-bit high-res audio of the new remasters. There's going to be a reproduction of the 1975 tour program, a replica ticket, a poster, and a 60-page coffee table-style book featuring rare images and new liner notes by Alexis Petridis, whatever the name is. And those 2 encore tracks that are on the live version of that are, let's see, The Musical Box and Watcher of the Skies, as performed on the '75 tour. I saw them uh, in '73 on the Selling England by the Pound tour. And man, what a concert. Uh, Seeing Peter Gabriel perform live and doing all of the early Genesis stuff. And when I saw him, they did Supper's Ready. Man, just mind blowing. And yes, he had his hair shaved in between here with his hair coming down, the reverse mohawk. It was so freaking cool. And one of the best concerts, if not the best concert. Well, I'm not going to say it's the best concert I've ever seen because I've seen some Zappa concerts that blew my hair back a bit. But this is visually probably the my favorite concert of all time. So very, 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 very cool. So that's what's going on with that. Let me go back here, check to see if there's anything new in the chat room. Let's see. You can't believe that I'm old enough to have seen him in '73. Well, believe it or not, I try to take care of myself. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. I thought of Abigail when they announced the Broadway box set earlier this week. I guess we'll have a full-length live performance of the album after all. Yeah, I was really happy when I read that. And Michael P. Dawson says the live lamb already appeared on the archive box set with modern overdubbed Peter Gabriel vocals. Word is that this new release will still have the replacement vocals. Huh. Now, this version that I have here is from that 70 to 75 box. Michael, is that what you're talking about? Is the live lamb on this particular version? Because if so, I haven't listened to it yet. Let's see. It just says here. Let's see. Now this says it's a CD and Super Audio's disc, which, wait a minute here. No, this is just a regular CD. And let's see. Then there is CD2. This is a regular CD. Okay. And then there is this disc here, which is the DVD audio. It's got reissues, interview, and Melody French TV 1974. Okay. So, yeah. Huh. All right. So, okay, yeah, this is a different set with lots of rarities, he says. Okay, that's cool. But, well, more of a reason for me to pick up that that box set when it does come out. Oh, and here's something cool. Aaron, the metal theologian, says he's listening to all of his new wave of British heavy metal 45. Now that's a cool evening. I'd like to see you do a live stream of those, but you probably wouldn't be able to get away with it. You two would jump out, but you could go on Twitch or go on Mixcloud. That would be cool. I would definitely watch that. Let's see. Woody B say those 45 RPM cuts of the Doors albums are the best Doors sound on vinyl. You own all 6. Very nice. Yeah, I've got like I said, I've got the first album. I've got L.A. Woman, and you never know. I may pick up another one sometime. But yeah, it's been a few evenings. And you're on Sparta right now. You're doing this in alphabetical order? Nice. Very cool. So let me see. What else is there to talk about this week? I think I've gone through the entire list of what I need to talk about. But yeah, really looking forward to the rest of the Beastie Boys book, audio book, and following along in the real book. It has sidelined me because I have been reading this book here, Glyn John's Sound Man, which is very, very interesting. So, trying to keep my academia up, which is below normal as it is. All right, so I'm probably gonna crank up the old gas-powered synthesizer here and make some more funny noises. So until then, I will see you next Saturday. I'll be showing off my record store days scores. And some of those scores may definitely be things that are not record store day specials. Let's see. Did I ever get to see Floyd back in the day, says Woody B? Well, yes and no. I saw Pink Floyd on the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour, which was the first tour without Waters, and that was at the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium back in the days. They had a quad sound system. It was cool as hell. But I didn't get to see Pink Floyd with Roger Waters. But yes, I have seen Frank Zappa 7 times and loved it. I've seen lots of bands, talked to lots of bands as well. So that is pretty much what's going on in my world. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, damn it. Hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe, please. I hope to try and get a video finished this week. I'm working on several things at once. And, this is, we got some cool stuff. Yeah, Radio Chaos melted our faces. Very cool. All right, so let's get this stuff going here. Let's see. We're doing this. So let's see what I'm going to do here. Sorry, I'll turn this thing so that you can see what I'm doing. Good night, folks.